morning, everyone. Okay. So I have been given the task of 25 years of software development in Zoho and to talk about it in merely 15 minutes. So before I get into my presentation, let me start with a quote of Steve Jobs. And before that, for the benefit of people who are not familiar about Zoho, we have been in this business for last 26 years, and we have 11,000 employees. We have 80 million registered users worldwide using our 50 plus products, pretty much caters to all the department and organization. And we serve customers in over 180 countries. And we have 500,000 paying organizations, paying customers using Zoho. And Zoho has been built with core set of values with a sense of purpose. You often hear from our CEO, Hyther. I am personally with this company since from the beginning, was a startup. And we think always a long term, be it products or be it our selection of our vendors or our partnerships. It's a very enduring relationship. And when it comes to privacy, Zoho is very particular about privacy. Way back in 2005, when we wrote our first privacy document, even before the software service market even began, we said we are not going to sell our customer data. And we are not going to sell ads in our products. Think about it for a second. We have 80 million registered users. Even putting a small banner ad in our products could eat us tens of millions of dollars every month for us, but we are not in that business. And we are a deep R&D company. We'll talk more on that. So this pretty much, summarizes what we are, okay? So let me get into my presentation with the quote from Steve Jobs. So we always believe that technology is something which is going to push the customer experience. It's not the other way around. So technology should not be in front of, it should not be the hurdle between the customer and the product, but it has to enhance the customer experience. So to that kind of a seamless experience, right, it is important to a vendor to own the complete technology stack, the Apple model, what I call as an Apple model. So in Apple has developed the M1 chip and M2 chip, right? Why did they do it? They have been running on Intel chips because they want to really control every aspect in their technology stack, every aspect in their customer experience, right? They want to control the performance of the chip. And they can do it only when they have the complete control and governance of what is getting into the chip. And that's exactly what they did with the M1 and M2 chips. And we follow the Apple model in Zoho. So for that to happen, it cannot be merely a software company, right? We cannot just develop software. And what you mean by software company is you build a software and that runs on some random stack and you don't have any control on that stack at all. But rather at Zoho, we feel that we are a technology company. We own the complete stack and we call ourselves as a technology company, not a software company. And for that to happen, let's walk through what it means, right? We have 50 plus applications, and these applications actually run on hundreds of microservices, right? We have tons of microservices. Every product does something and they make it generalized and make it as a microservice. These microservices run on a very common platform in Zoho. We have probably 200, 300 microservices, and they run on the same technology platform. So very important because we are not a company which acquired multiple applications, but we run on a common stack, make sure that the integration between these application microservices are very seamless. We'll talk more about that. And when you really expand the platform part, right, there are different pieces to the platform part. There's the software, which is the database and stuff like that, hardware, networking, data centers. We do work on every layer in this technology stack. So let's look at all the Zoho stack. The first one is the apps, right? As you all know, we have 50 plus applications. And what started as a couple of applications in 2005, CRM and word processor, the writer, today we have 55 plus applications. And these applications run on a very common tech stack. And this is the tech stack what we use. So all the applications are being built from ground up, none acquired. And we are a Java shop. You may judge us that we are very old fashioned, but it works. All the applications runs on a Java stack, and we use Linux as our, in our data centers, we use Linux machines. Now, this particular reason for it, we don't use a fat machine with a big RAM and CPUs, but we use very commodity servers and which runs on Linux, more of a cattle approach, and we use Postgres SQL. Now, there's a reason for this because we have a CRM competitor who runs on Oracle database. No, it's fine. It works for them. But for that vendor, every dollar they get from the customer, they have to give it to the database center. A portion of it goes to the database center. But for us, we run on everything on open source, and which means we can pass on that benefit to our customers. Our customers can really leverage that benefit, and that's why Zoho products are very affordable. And pretty much our products are built on open source, so the client frameworks, right? So we have tweaked to Tomcat, and every product has their flexibility to choose what deemed fit for them, the client frameworks, be it Ember or Angular or React or Vue, you name it, we have it in Zoho. And internally, we have developed a lot of frameworks. In backend, everything runs on a Java framework, which has been developed for the last couple of months. We call it as internally coded as Mickey. And we also have a front-end light framework, which is we call it internally coded light JavaScript framework, which we developed a couple of years back. And all our frameworks from Ember to Angular are moving to the light framework. And personally, I worked on the Deluge. I am a programmer and architect. So, and still till now I code. I have personally developed this Deluge scripting language, which powers all the custom functions, all the 50+ products. All it is for end users. All they have to know is the business logic and write some, simple VB-based or Excel-based kind of a scripting to get things done in our products. And coming to mobile applications, we have developed full-blown native applications. iOS and Android applications, and also we use Flutter and React Native in certain cases. And very importantly, Zoho runs on Zoho. This is interesting. For a 11,000 people company, now our sales people use our CRM, our support people use our Zoho Desk, our finance people use our Zoho Books accounting software. Our payroll for 11,000 employees runs on Zoho Payroll. So this pretty much, summarizes our Zoho tech stack. And let me also share some of the engineering convictions, which was developed over a couple of decades. This is one of the conviction, one of the dictum we have internally. It looks very plain simple. Do not do serious work on user thread. But way back in 2005, we wrote this dictum. And it's very ingrained into every engineer in our organization. Now, when a user is clicking a button, you don't do any heavy lifting during that process. Pre-compute and keep it ready. Cache it, right? And this is a very important dictum for an engineer, for a developer, right? And this we wrote in 2005. And those days when we wrote I also managed a spreadsheet product, Zoho Sheet. And those days we generate HTML, keep it ready to serve to the user. These days we have a canvas way of rendering our Zoho spreadsheet. But this is a dictum we wrote. Do not do serious work on user thread, and it holds good even today. Performance matters. Every click, every microsecond, every nanosecond matters in the user experience. And do not trust any input from the user. This is again a very fundamental building block for security, right? Treat them, even though they may be a friend, but treat them with caution. Every input from the user should be dealt with caution. And this is a thing which we wrote in 2005. Another dictum is no single point of failure for any component, be it very micro component, right? A small micro component could be like 100 lines of code, or could be a server, right? No single point of failure. Always look for alternative. Always look for a failover, right? This is again ingrained into every engineer in the organization. So these kind of dictums, right? I can go on and on. We have like probably tens and hundreds of these kind of dictums. But all this put together is what dictates our development model, defines our development model in last couple of decades. So that's a application layer, peeling off the app stack. So that's an app layer. And we have 50+ application. We always say to the customers, if you don't find anything in 50+ application, there's always a fallback. Go and use Zoho Creator, which is our low-code platform, right? And this is something which I personally worked from scratch, and I also manage this product. So this is we are a visionary in the Gartner Magic Quadrant, and it serves it's a rapid application development tool for citizen developers, IT developers, and pro developers, where they can build even a very complex custom ERP. We have tens and thousands of customers, right? There is like manufacturing ERP to education ERP, whatnot, right? Built on this rapid application development tool. because you as a developer have complete control and governance, and this has complete application development lifecycle. You have staging, versioning, whatnot, right? So this is the fallback what we suggest to the customers, and this is a, it abstracts the complexity from really knowing the, writing the boilerplate codes, and so that the customers, the users can really focus on the business logic. So that's the application part. The services part, we have tons of, as I said, I'm not going to get into the details in the interest of time. We have probably hundreds of services, AI search, single sign-on, AV, which was done in a click product, was generalized and pushed to our Zoho meeting and other products. And this is AI work, what we do. Again, tons of work we do. And we started the AI work 11 years back, and AI that respects privacy is what we call. And we also integrate with GPD. We have tons of patents filed for our AI work. And coming to the software infrastructure, this is something interesting. We have customized the databases, unified databases, which runs on a unified data model. Think about it. All the 50 plus applications on, logically it runs on a single database. All the entities are a single source of truth. Nothing is duplicated, be it leads or customers or candidates or your inventory or asset. Everything is a single source of truth. That's how we have architected, because it runs on the same technology platform. That's very important. As in your organization, it's very important you run on the same technology stack, so that you don't do that plumbing of integrating different applications. End of the day, you end most of the time will be spent on the plumbing work, and that's what we have solved here. We have done a custom database for columnar storage, and for IoT, we have done a time series performance-based database, graph index, in-memory database. I can talk on these subjects for hours, but I have another 2.5 minutes. So on the hardware infrastructure, we have our own FPGAs. We are working on application-specific ICs, tweaking the GPUs, networking infrastructure. We have our own acceleration network to provide that fast network, in terms of providing the fast AV. And we have our own ZAN edges, Zoho application acceleration networks in 10 places. And very importantly, we run our own data center. It's a very important point, right? We are not running on public cloud. We don't run on AWS or Azure or GCP, for the reason that one is the cost factor. At scale, it becomes very expensive. But also another reason, very important reason, is we want to know the know-how about running the data center, the DevOps, and let's say we want to have our own continuous deployment. We have complete control and governance on how we want to run it. And we have 10 data centers, and we are adding 4 more this year. And some of the data centers, we have powered by our own solar farm, right? And this is something which we want to give back to the environment. Couple of data centers are running on our own solar farm, and we are adding more solar farms in coming months. That's something consciously we make sure we give back to the environment. And why does it matter? Why does it matter for the customer? For the customer, it's very important, right? You provide the unified experience. When you have the complete control on the technology stack, you provide the best experience, seamless integration. They don't have to juggle between tens of vendors out there in the market. And for us, it is very costly input. We want to control the costly input, want to give back to the customer so that they can afford the software. So that's what we take. We take full stack approach in most things what we do. And this is the Zoho's architecture, pretty much summarizes what I spoke. We have our own database, tweaked app servers. This is our architecture, what we run. And what if we open our architecture for you to use it, the infrastructure service? That's exactly what we did a couple of years back. Right now, today, you can use Zoho's architecture, deploy your functions, right? Like your Lambda function, you can deploy it. You can use our function as a service, our backend as a service, which powers the Zoho's applications, and that's what we call it as Catalyst. We launched it a couple of years back, and we have very good traction for this. And it's always Zoho takes a very ground-up approach. It's not a very grand plan. Whatever we did, we want to expose to our developers. Inside this room, you can get benefited using our Catalyst platform, where you can use our backend service, data store, file store, and function as service. So that's pretty much summarizes that we are a technology company running our complete tech stack. Thank you so much.